Cowboys take the division lead. The Eagles forget how to play offense. And the Packers and Dolphins implode on Monday night. We'll talk about all that and more as I take you off with my power rankings. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below where we have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Now, normally I have 5 different tiers to these power rankings. I've added a 6th this week. You'll see why. But we still have bottom of the league teams that are just bottom of the barrel losers, so to speak. And then we have this could be but unlikely tier right above that. Teams that could play spoiler to some better teams, but ultimately they're not in the playoff hunt, and sometimes they can be just really bad. And then above that, I have a tier called the NFC South. We'll talk about it when we get to it. Then above that, I have playoff contenders, teams that are going to be vying for a spot in the playoffs. Playoff teams I am just sold on being in the postseason. And then, of course, our Super Bowl contenders. Let's get this sucker started with the bottom of the league. Bottom of the barrel, the Panthers are flat out losers, unfortunately. It wasn't a pretty game against the Saints. Wasn't pretty for the Saints either, but we'll talk about them later. And just this offense sucks. It flat out sucks. The offensive line is bad. The receivers aren't great. Can't get separation. Bryce Young, not even showing signs of life. The flashes are very few and far between. Everything just sucks in Carolina right now, unfortunately. Mainly offensively. Right ahead of them, I'm going to keep the New England Patriots. Big win against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday Night Football. Bailey Zappi. What a game. But really the conversation after that game was more about, man, Mitch Trubisky sucks. The Steelers, what are they going to do? How's Mike Tomlin going to carry this team to a 500 record? When's Kenny Pickett coming back? Everything was about the Steelers after that game. Not to say the Patriots are a bad team. I mean, yes, they're bad. They've been beaten up this year, particularly defensively. But hey, you got a good win. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, I guess for this instance, Thursday. Right ahead of them, I'm going to have the Arizona Cardinals. They were enjoying a bye week, but it is a team that is just kind of devoid of talent. There's not a lot of good depth there, and they're going to be having a high pick, and they're going to be accumulating some talent this year to make them viable next year. This was always kind of the point with the Cardinals when Kyler Murray was going to miss like the first 10 to 12 games. Everyone kind of figured, okay, yeah, no, this is kind of a lost season for the Cardinals. Right ahead of them, I have the Washington Commanders. They're still giving Sam Howell the nice rehearsal. Hey, if we're not in position to get maybe Caleb Williams or Drake May, maybe you hold on to your job. And they keep losing. Oh man, it's gonna be if they are picking and they're looking at a Caleb Williams or a Drake May, pretty hard not to say no. Really, really is. And then I got one more team in this tier, and it is the Los Angeles Chargers. They lost embarrassingly to the Denver Broncos 24-7. They lost Justin Herbert for the remainder of the year. They still haven't fired Brandon Staley. What you doing, Chargers? What you doing? Yeah, you're bottom of the league, man. Freaking pitiful. Could be, but unlikely. We're going to start this with the Tommy DeVito-led New York Giants, who got a big win on Monday Night Football against the Packers. And I'm just going to say it, this offense looks so much better not under Daniel Jones. Giants fans, get pissed at me all you want. The truth can hurt sometimes, but the truth shall set you free. Tommy DeVito, I almost said Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito, obviously Danny DeVito's son. Balling out, though, really has given a spark to this offense. Oh, Las Vegas Raiders. They find themselves in losing a 3-0 ball game. Not great. Obviously, Aiden O'Connell, not the answer. They'll probably be looking for that franchise quarterback this offseason, whether it's through via free agency or the draft. Probably the draft. They could be a team that tries to move up to grab one of those guys, but we shall see. And then we have the New York Jets. Good win this week by the Jets. It was at home. The conditions not ideal. A little sloppy, a little windy. It was nothing going to halftime against the Texans. And Zach Wilson said, screw it. I don't care. I already got benched. There's nothing more that they can do to me to hurt me. I'm just going to go out there and sling the football. And sling the football he did. He played a very good game as they mollywopped the Texans 30 to, what was it, 6? I think it was, 30 to 6. Ugh. Right in front of the Jets, I have the Tennessee Titans. Fins up. They gave my Dolphins a nice big L on Monday Night Football. I was fortunate enough to be live streaming it. That was great. That was fun. Hey, man, we saw Will Levis. We saw what can be and what could be. So, yeah, good on them. The offensive line still has lots of concerns, lots of problems, but this was a good game for Will Levis and very encouraging for your second-round pick. And I only have one more team in this could be but unlikely tier, and it's the Chicago Bears. Ooh, man, they probably wish they could play the Lions every week. They'd probably be at 500. Justin Fields, again, this could be a rehearsal for his next team, the remainder of the season, or this could be, no, I'm the franchise quarterback. What are you guys doing? Let's go out. Let's get me more talent. Surround me with more talent. Fire Luke Getsy. I said it. Oh, no. Honestly, Getsy, get him whatever he was sipping while he was calling the plays this against Detroit. More of that. Where's that been? Yeah, stop with 20 screens a game, but watch out, man. Bears, that defense is coming together as well. Eberflus has finally instilled his system, got the guys he want, and they're playing really good football. Go ahead, move on to this NFC South tier because I'm just not going to waste a playoff team or playoff contender spot for them. I'm just going to go ahead, put them in the order I have. You had the Saints it was an ugly looking win against the Panthers. They scored a lot of points late. Derek Carr still looks like he's bad. You got the Atlanta Falcons, who lost close to the Buccaneers. They actually took Baker Mayfield. We could probably talk both these teams at the same time, but Baker Mayfield being able to hit Cade Otton for the go-ahead score, but still offensively, Desmond Ritter's kind of meh. It's still wildly inaccurate. Had a bad, strip sack. Led to a fumble or led to a safety. I just don't have a lot of faith offensively in the Atlanta Falcons. Honestly, I kind of feel better about the Buccaneers. They've had a lot of close losses this season. So that's how I currently have the NFC South laid out. Let's move on to actual playoff contenders, starting with the Indianapolis Colts. Rough week at the office. Run game couldn't get going. Offense couldn't get going. Basically, the defense put up as much points as the offense did. They had rookie Ronnie Hickman at Ohio State had a pick 6. But yeah, man, offensively, they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't get pressure on the Bengals because keep in mind, this is Gus Bradley. He doesn't like to blitz. Lowest blitz rate in the NFL. And guess what? They couldn't get pressure against a porous Bengals offensive line. So not a good look. Right in front of them, the Seattle Seahawks honestly played really well with Drew Lock there for the not even relieving. He started for the injured Geno Smith. But, I mean, there's only you could only hold out so long against the 49ers at this point. Good showing, and they're going to be scrapping for one of those last 2 seeds in the playoffs. So good luck, Godspeed, but I think it's totally winnable for the Seahawks if they could get healthy down the stretch. Next squad I have in here is the Minnesota Vikings. They won 3-0. It was an ugly offensive performance by both squads. Josh Dobbs ended up getting benched before, but before that, he threw a hospital ball to Justin Jefferson, which literally sent him to the hospital. So Nick Mullins steps in. He puts together the game-winning drive. But still, you look at it offensively, and it's just like, oh, this sucks. This sucks. It makes you miss freaking Kirk Cousins. But 7-6, man, they are. I think they probably sneak into the playoffs. I really, really do. Real quick, I gotta give a shout out to Walk the Mock. If you're unfamiliar with what Walk the Mock is, well, every week we have a live stream where we do a mock draft. Now, if you're a premium member at Walk the Mock, you could pick one of those teams in that mock draft. It is essentially you drafting against the chat, myself. It's a heck of a good time. Use promo code Broshmo to get 20% off of that. And whether you're a monthly member or you do it for the year, do that. Enter one of our drafts. During the live stream, we get to talk crap to one another. It's a real good time. So check out Walk the Mock. Let's go ahead. Keep this sucker rolling with the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Jack Brown in, dude. What the heck, dude? This cat he's just catching fire. The offense is catching fire. Defense played really well as well. And yeah, they are still some way, somehow in the playoff race. I thought when Joe Burrow went down, their odds went to 0, but Jake Brown's like, nah, I could drag this team to the playoffs in the AFC nonetheless. Right for them is Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a team trending down. I almost put the Steelers here in the could be, but unlikely. But I think they could definitely win a few of their games down the stretch because a lot of it is divisional. And Steelers have shown, hey, I mean, when teams face teams within their division, usually you're going to get close contests anyway. Kenny Pickett, hurry up, get back healthy. Mitch Trubisky looks like a train wreck. Offense, it looks like the ghost of Matt Canada is on the sideline calling plays. It's kind of how it feels. Right for them, I got the Los Angeles Rams. Tough loss to the Ravens this week, losing off on the walk-off punt return. It was like 76 yards too. But man, Matthew Stafford is playing really good football. You got Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua playing good football. Kyron Williams playing good football. And you had, Tyler Higbee was out this game. Hunter Long got hurt early. Davis Allen, rookie out of Clemson, stepping up in a huge way in this game. I know this team, they don't have a lot of talent in some key starting spots. But offensively, man, when they're humming, they're hard to stop. You really, really are. Green Bay Packers are here. It's a bad showing. It was not a great game for Jordan Love against the Giants. But hey, don't sleep on Wink Martindale. One hell of a DC there for the G-men. Let's reevaluate how he looks next week, as this team also hopefully gets healthier. Aaron Jones. Don't know when Christian Watson specifically comes back. With those lingering hamstrings, it's kind of tough to tell. But let's see how this team looks next week. See if we can get a more concrete answer on, okay, are they good or are they just super mid? Then the final team in this tier is the Houston Texans. Oh, man. Tough loss. He had a lot of things going against CJ Stroud here, as Nico Collins got hurt, re-aggravated the calf injury very early in that game. Then just you're facing one of the best defenses in football. The wins are freaking everywhere. Just not ideal circumstances for Stroud, and then getting the concussion late in the game just didn't help. It feels like kind of a throwaway game for the Texans. Hopefully they can get healthy. Tank Dell ain't walking back through that door, unfortunately, but hopefully Nico Collins can return. And then we're going to move on to the playoff tier, where I'm going to start with the Denver Broncos. That's right. Russ is cooking. Cortland Sutton is cooking. Jerry Jeudy, if he could catch a ball in bounds, would be cooking. This defense, cooking. feels like everything's just going right for the Broncos. They are legit contenders, but not just contenders. They could potentially win their division if Kansas City, well, can't get it together offensively. Ahead of them, I got the Joe Flacco-led Cleveland Browns, man. Just kind of a wild thing to say in 2023, but he's looked good. Like, yeah, you're going to have to, like, occasionally he's going to have that just very stupid, dumb decision that turns into a turnover, which he has the last 2 games. But, man, he has really given this offense, I think, a much higher ceiling than you would with DTR or PJ Walker. And that defense is still, mamma mia, really good. Hopefully they get Denzel Ward back next week. Ahead of them, oh, man. You know what? I'm going to flip this. I'm going to flip it. Okay, so I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I don't know if they're going to be the good Jags or the bad Jags any given week. The defense has been coverage bust city this last week. Going back to Monday Night Football, and then in this game, like that first David Njoku touchdown, massive coverage bust. Like, this defense not playing nearly as good as they were earlier in the year. The offensive line's banged up. You had they had Cam Robinson out, Walker Little out. Ezra Cleveland moves over to play left tackle. He gets hurt early in the game. And then you got this cat named Blake Nance? I don't know. First time I've ever heard of this cat. And apparently he's a normally guard having to play tackle. And, well, have fun at tackle. You're facing freaking Myles Garrett. Not fair. Guess what? Myles Garrett won that. Trevor Lawrence, like, you could tell that the ankle really impacted a lot of his throws. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell running, like, with his mobility, but when he goes to, like, plant that foot on the throw, you can definitely tell that it is really caused some inaccuracies for him. So, Bengals are a good team. Trevor Lawrence is banged up. Can they get healthy? Can they get it all together? Is the question. Right, and next team is the Detroit Lions. I got them right in front of the Browns here. Golly, man. Jared Goff has had ever since Thanksgiving, it's been a rough go for Jared Goff. It really has, and for this offense in general. The defense, they're going to allow some points, and when the offense isn't humming, it really turns ugly. What really adds on to that is just how aggressive Dan Campbell and company are on 4th downs. Listen, man, if you don't hit those, then yeah, the game's going to look bad for you. You hit 50-50, there's a chance you could win the game. If you are hitting those like all the time, then yeah, no, your team's probably going to be in, we're talking like double score lead and whatnot. So it just felt like all those things kind of aligned the wrong way for the Lions. They weren't converting 4th downs. The defense was playing poorly. The Jared Goff and the offense in general just not playing well. Keep in mind, they're beat up on the offensive interior. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll see next week, man. We'll see next week. The Lions feel like they're coming back down to earth. Talk about coming back down to earth, man. So the Dolphins, we only lose to good teams. We only lose away. And then the Titans freaking roll into town. And they're like, no, you don't just lose to only good teams. No, you don't just only lose on the road. Flip, man. Granted, Tyree got hurt in this game, missed much of the second half. But to be fair, the offense wasn't humming at all. Like, our only offensive touchdown in the first half our only touchdown in the first half was a pick 6 by Will Levis. Thank you, Will Levis. And we really had to rely on a couple of bad turnovers. Those by the Titans. They had the muffed punt, kind of. Like, it looked like he was going to let it bounce, and then he decided he wanted to field it. I don't know why. Then you had Derrick Henry, where the toss was a little off, but it was enough for Henry to get, and that becomes a turnover. So it's like we had a lot of breaks in that game, and when it came down to it, stinking Vic Fangio's bend don't break defense broke, offense sputtering. So just not a great game. But again, any given Sunday, it just happened to be Monday. And then my last team in this tier is the Buffalo Bills. They're currently on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoffs. We still got 4 weeks. I believe in the talent on this team. They had a really good win against the Kansas City Chiefs this past week, where there was a lot of there was a little controversy at the end of that game. But they did enough. The offense did enough to get the job done. They got out to an early lead to the Chiefs, and were just able to hold on. So good on the Bills for that. Let's move on to these Super Bowl tier teams, which I still got Kansas City because, again, with Mahomes, it's still possible. However, it's not been Mahomes' finest year. Really, the only playmakers he can trust are Travis Kelce and now Rashee Rice, Rashee Rice has had some pretty costly fumbles or penalties the last few weeks. Obviously, Kadarius Toney put across the line. People are flipping, and now everyone's calling out every offensive offsides that they can. I saw them posting one of Jalen Waddle from the Tennessee game. Oh, this isn't offsides. It's like, hey, I mean, that's the NFL. Refs, they're not perfect. They're gonna miss some calls. They're gonna get others. They just have been really bad this year. They really have been. But yeah, Kansas City, again, offensively, man, this is just not the same team right now, and it really sucks because it's putting a lot of pressure on a very good defense. Speaking of teams forgetting how to play offense, we got the Philadelphia Eagles here. Their only touchdown against Dallas came on a scoop and score by Jalen Carter. They just got shut down. They were unable to move the football. A lot of their fumbles didn't break their way because, I mean, you could go on the X and see you can go see videos of Jalen Hurts fumbling the ball for it to bounce back into his hands. That's happened a couple of times this year. This game, all the fumbles went against them. They had 3 turnovers, all being fumbles. You had the Devontae Smith dropping the ball in the end zone, though it was a very tough catch to make. And then the following play, him fumbling the football. Again, this game just did not break the Eagles' way. I think better days are ahead, though, for the Eagles. I still believe in this squad. A lot of talent there. Dallas Cowboys, I got 1 spot ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, they won. They won in Dallas. Of course they should. But to be fair, when they went to Philly, it was a close loss. The offense freaking moving the ball exceptionally well. I wish they could, once they get into scoring position, they can turn those field goals into touchdowns. There were a couple of times where that kind of happened to the Cowboys. But I mean, when you got Brandon Aubrey who can hit a 59 and then a 60-yarder in the same game, I guess you don't sweat it too much. Defense is playing out of its mind, playing really good football. Stephon Gilmore had a phenomenal game against A.J. Brown. At number 2, it's the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I mean, the Ravens got the talent. That's a very good defense for Baltimore. Always feels like it is. And offensively, they can get it done. They have one of the scariest playmakers in Lamar Jackson. Now they have Keenan Mitchell's been stepping up. Zay Flowers. You got OBJ. He had the long touchdown in this game. You had Isaiah Likely. To be fair, his touchdown was like a coverage bust. But the Ravens, they can move the ball on offense, man. It's just they're not always the most consistent team, but they do have some of the more impressive blowouts this year. I feel like they're currently the best team in the AFC. There, I said it. I don't think it's controversial either. And then, of course, it's the San Francisco 49ers. They're number one. They are the best team in the NFL, bar none. Don't at me, bro. It's the truth. The offense is humming. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, they're making great cases for MVP this year. They are that good. They be that good. But that's it for the video, man. Let me know what y'all think, where maybe teams should be placed and whatnot, or how you feel about your teams going forward. If you want some awesome NFL draft content, I just put out a Senior Bowl video talking about all the prospects that I've already accepted invites there. So go ahead, check that out. But as always, until next time, be easy, my friends. Later.